At it. Yes, indeed. We're back at it. Um, President Trump and the New York City mayor, Mamdani, they met and they said they found common ground. So we're going to talk about that and a few other things that's on my mind tonight. Hope everybody is doing well. I got to share out the live. A lot of people say they don't get it. So, I got to do it that way. Got to share it. But for those who's watching the rebroadcast, please give us a like. That'll be greatly appreciated in advance. You know how we go. Hold on one second. Do this. All right. Yes, indeed. All right. Let me see. Let me do it this way. Go to my inbox. How's everybody doing? Just sharing the live out. Yeah, man. The New York City mayor elect, he has some things to say about Trump, and now he said they don't found common ground. So we're gonna see how that marriage works out in the upcoming months. Definitely gonna see how it works out. Just sharing my live out. Give me a second. Just sharing it out. You feel me? A lot going on in the news as always. But you know how we do. We cover everything. We cover everything from politics to whatever you want to talk about. Yes, indeed. We are covering it. Sorry, guys. I got to send my own notifications out, man. That's just how it go. We can't wait for the system to do it. You feel me? Can't wait for the system to do it. You got to do it yourself. But they met at the White House today. They said, yeah, man, they have common ground on affordable housing and stuff like that throughout New York City. Now, for a lot of people that don't know, Trump, um, he's one of the originators of the affordable housing for seniors throughout the tri-state. Hello. Hello, what's up? I don't know who that is. Somebody just gave me an update. I don't know who that is. What's up, celebrity? How you doing? Peace, peace, peace. What's up, y'all? I see you. I'm just getting myself together. Let me see. All right. How's everybody doing, man? Y'all doing all right? You subscribe. I appreciate it. I appreciate the subscriptions and all that. I'm waiting on an update here. Somebody just told let me see, who is MT? I don't know who that is. Hey VS, who did you just say? Who is MTG VS? I'm on this account. Who is MTG? MTG is Marjorie Green and in Congress. Okay. She resigned effective when? She resigns effective the first of the year, right? Okay. Okay, the 5th. Okay. Marjorie Taylor Greene, guys, is resigning. You said I look like Ice-T. Yo, YouTube, me and you, since you've been in here, when we hear everything. That's the first time somebody's ever told me that. Actually, no, that's not the first time. That's not the first. I was thinking you said Ice Cube. No, Ice T. I guess because of the I look like Howard Jones. Yeah, y'all be killing me, yo. Yo, I think this is becoming a new thing, BS. What's up, Antoine? This is becoming a new thing. Like, who do I look like? They get on me real quick. It's crazy. But you know that they cool with me. Yep, here we go. I look like such and such. Oh, you're a liberal. Oh Lord. Here we go. They said, oh, you're a liberal. What, do I look like a liberal? Do I look like a liberal? I'm just here to say that Trump met with Mamdani. I ain't got nothing bad to say. I just said they met up and all that. You know, I didn't. You know what makes me a liberal on that? Hold on. I also have a White House channel, so I don't know what makes me. It says Trump meets Zohran Mamdani. Let's see what they're saying. We're gonna listen to a little bit of it. You feel me? But y'all is something else.
And we want this city of ours that we love to do very well. And I wanted to congratulate the mayor. He really ran an incredible race against a lot of smart people, starting with the early primaries against some very tough people, very smart people. And he beat them easily. And I congratulated him. And we talked about some things in very strong common, like housing and getting housing built and uh, food prices. And the price of oil is coming way down. That anything I do is going to be good for New York. If I can get prices down, it's good for New York, and we've got them down way down from last year. We have, as you know, I've been saying to a lot of people, Walmart said that Thanksgiving this year is exactly 25% less than last year. So that's good for New York, good for everybody. But I just want to congratulate. I think you're going to have hopefully a really great mayor. The better he does, the happier I am. I will say there's no difference in party. There's no difference in anything, and we're going to be helping him to make everybody's dream come true, having a strong and very safe New York. And congratulations, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. I appreciate it. Please. I appreciated the meeting with the president, and as he said, it was a productive meeting focused on a place of shared admiration and love, which is New York City, and the need to deliver affordability to New Yorkers, the 8.5 million people who call our city their home, who are struggling to afford life in the most expensive city in the United States of America. We spoke about rent, we spoke about groceries, we spoke about utilities, we spoke about the different ways in which people are being pushed out, and I appreciated the time with the president. I appreciated the conversation. I look forward to working together to deliver that affordability for New Yorkers. Thank you very much. Any questions, please?
I'm all for the affordability now. I'm all for that. So if they trying to make it affordable, affordable for who though? Like affordable for who? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm all about affordability for sure. I'm all about affordability for everybody, not just some people, everybody. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I know Trump is a lot of people don't know this. He's very instrumental in why seniors and throughout the tri-state, even just really throughout New Jersey, has affordable housing. That was one of his hustles back in the day, is senior citizen buildings, and you know, giving them doormans and stuff like that. That was one of his things, and a lot of these buildings are still around today, for sure. You said Fred Sanford, what up, my boy? Y'all be killing me, man. Now Fred. Oh man, I've been called Red Fox a lot, man. Y'all are something else, man. But as far as Trump being an OG as far as affordable housing, that's true. I mean, that's you could just do your research on that, and it's still like that to this day. And I'm sure they still have a lot of holdings as well to this day. From this is starting back in the late 70s and 80s. He started that, but somehow this area lost their way as far as affordability. See, what made New York very popular is that even though Manhattan has always been pretty much expensive, you still had the outer boroughs that were still affordable, that made it attractive to live in New York City. You still had the other major boroughs like Queens, Brooklyn. There was plenty of places where they had rent control. They even had some rent control areas in Manhattan, like let's say Hell's Kitchen. In the Hell's Kitchen area, they've had affordable housing. But now, it's just not the case. It's just not the case. But one night what I'm gonna do is you're gonna travel with me when I'm live. We're gonna go through New York City together at night. And we're gonna go to different places, mainly Manhattan though. And we're gonna do that. I've done it before, but it's just, things just don't got off the hook. You gotta be careful these days. But you said, Sid, when is the next Ice Age coming out in cinemas? You said, dang, boss, your voice can make you millions if you market it right. Well, then inbox me and help me. You might be my next manager. You tell me something good. You might be my next manager. You might want to help me out. You know what I'm saying? You just might, hit me up on Instagram. My contact is in the description. You might have something good for you. You might be my next manager, man. You might just be my next manager out here. You said, why they trolling you, Max? Hey, what's up, Malik? Long time no see. They always troll me. That's just the common thing now, because they know that I read the comments and it don't bother me. That's why. And they're trying to figure out which comment I'm going to read, because they know I'm reading them all. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no comment getting past me. And that's why they do it. It don't bother me. Like he calling me Sid from Ice Age. That's just kind of crazy. You said Trump has to help the state before they help the city. Well, you talking about as far as federal dollars. Well, New York is the biggest. I think it's like the biggest city in the country, just about. New York City is very important. There's a lot of money going throughout New York City. So it's always good for him to have a good relationship with the president, because federal dollars, like, hey man, if he good with the president, like, hey, can you trickle some money this way? All right, I got you. So it's always good to make allies. You don't have to like each other, but you can work together. There's nothing wrong with that. You said, how many directions can your eyes see? My peripheral vision is second to none. My peripheral vision is second to none. I could be looking straight and see everybody and see everything even this way. Yeah, for sure. Yep. Second to none. For sure. I'm in this world, guys, but I'm not of it. I'm foreign to this land. I live in the world, but I'm not from it. I'm not of the world. I'm just here observing and taking it all in until I go back on my next travels. But I'm from the inner center of the universe, where the intergalactic council convenes. That's where I'm from. You might say Series B. Yeah, my people are in transit. You know that thing up there? They on their way. Something is going to happen. Just to let you guys know, something is going to happen December 19th. What I want to tell you is get your affairs in order, and that's a time of reflection. Let me just say this real quick, and I'm not trolling. For that thing to be doing what it's doing right now, it's equivalent to, this is how rare this event is. It's equivalent to going into outer space and shooting a basket and hitting a 3-point basket on Earth. That's how rare it is. What's happening right now, even though it's not coming incredibly close to us, but it's coming within 2 astronomical units from us. That's unheard of, and it's right now it's just above the galactic plane, and when it reaches, it's going to be going just under the galactic plane, and it's going right out. And if you do know, the plasma that's around it, it has consciousness to it. It's the same consciousness that we share. Okay, the sun is already reacting to it, and guess what? It came so close to the sun, they thought it dissipated. No, it's still intact. So trust me, it's a lot more than you think it is. It could be ushering some consciousness to us, some information, but we're about to see. But around that time, get prepared for it. And my real ones know what I'm talking about. My real ones know what I'm talking about. We're not the only ones in this universe. We're not. They may not, you might not see them, but their presence is going to be known. You're going to feel it somehow on the 19th. I promise you this. Promise you. It's going to be like an awakening or something in your body. Something. Trust me, this event is not supposed to happen. The way it's traveling through our universe, how perfect it is, that's not supposed to happen. It's very rare. That's a very rare event coming from interstellar. It's very rare. I think what I'm going to do at this point, I'm going to ignore the comments right now. Because sometimes people like throw me off, while I'm cooking. You see what I'm saying? While I'm sitting here trying to provide you a download. You know what I'm saying? Because I am tapped in to the source. I'm really tapped in. He said, let him cook. I know, man, just let me cook, man. Let me cook. Because I am tapped in. And please don't spam. If for my people that have wrenches, if they spam, let them go. I don't mind the trolling here and there, but just don't spam me. You know what I'm saying? Because it messes everybody else up in the chat. Thank you, Ryan. I've been tapped in for a very long time. I knew I was tapped in when I was younger. I knew I was different. Like everybody is unique, right? Everybody is. Everybody is unique. Everybody has different gifts. Just like this one guy, I forget his name. He used to be what you call a remote viewer. You have some people like that too. They can literally close their eyes and go somewhere else and see it right then and there. It's called the remote viewer. You really can't explain this type of stuff. One of the most famous remote viewers, I forget his name. Just type in the most famous. Hold up, I'll give it to you. Hold on. His name. You can type it in. I'm giving it to you now. His name is Ngo Swann. INGO. Last name Swann. SWANN. He's one of the most famous remote viewers of all time. His name is Ngo Swann. INGO SWANN. No relation to Lynn Swan. Check him out. So he has that type of ability. I have ability to just know I know shit, and I can't really explain it. When I was younger, I knew the information that they was teaching us in school was BS. And I knew it was BS. I knew that the kingdom is within us. Now, in the Bible, it said the kingdom was built. Well, as it was being built, it was built in silence. Now, what do they mean by that? It was built in silence. That denotes the building of the mind. When you build your mind, it's in silence through meditation. That's King Solomon's temple. It denotes the mind. Remember, the stories in the Bible is written in allegorical terms. There's the meaning hidden behind signs and symbols and phrases. It's allegory. So that's pretty much what it's denoting the mind. They took that out. They had a meeting at the Council of Nicaea. They had a meeting about it. They said, we can't keep telling these people, so we got to put this in story form. So they came up with the Trinity, the cross and everything like that. The splitting of the rib of Adam, that denotes the atom, atom. That's what that denotes, the splitting of the atom. And I'm not going to go any further because then you're going to be like, how do I know this? Well, listen, they told us Christopher Columbus discovered the Americas. We know that's not true because people were already here, but that's what they taught us in school. So now I'm just going to, as at this point, I'm just going to not pay attention to the chat. I'll do it at the end, and I'm just going to just build with you really quickly. Speaking of Trump, that was my topic. Not that Trump is my topic, but he's the hot topic, so I like to put him in the title. That's it. But we also talk about other stuff. I just basically said he met with the New York City mayor, and they're talking about affordable housing in New York, safety of the citizens in New York, and that's it. You don't have to like each other to work together. So that's pretty much my message for that situation. But there's a lot of things that's going on in this world, and it's happening at one time. And but what I could tell you is that sometimes you just have to get silent and listen to your inner voice, because we're all how can I say this? We're all connected on the same source, but on different frequencies, if that makes sense. We're in different vehicles. For us to navigate this planet, we have to be in these vehicles called our bodies. But once you leave the body, you go to another body. Ashe. We sure do. But they can't. I feel like they don't want to tell us everything because they're not going to be able to control us. That's what I feel. But there is a governing body that controls this planet, other than these people, that the powers that be, the 1% here. There's somebody more powerful than them, and they know that, and ain't nothing they can do about it. But how's everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody is doing well. If you give me a like, that'll be greatly appreciated. Also subscribe. Yes, indeed. What's going on, Ant? Eric Adams decided to reinstate the street crimes unit. Oh, because of the situation, the street crimes unit. There's a lot going on. But I could tell you, if you grew up in the 80s, New York was worse. Or maybe it's getting like that again. I don't know, but I know it was rough back then. Chinatown, we couldn't even walk through Chinatown back in the 80s. You could go to shop, but you have to leave at a certain time. Chinatown, it was bad. People were getting killed in Chinatown, man. They had Chinese gangs back then. You know, it was a lot. You said spiritual beings. Well, we're all spiritual beings. We're trapped. We're beings. They just now telling us that after death, the mind and the brain is separate. They're just telling us this. And even we already knew this, which means that there's no death. That's what that means. You just harvest somewhere else. It's either a couple things. Either they have another assignment for you in the Senate. I'm talking about the intergalactic Senate. Or you just come on back. Everybody is here for some type of travels and purposes. And some people lose their way. And I think some people are demented. You know what I'm saying? Some people are. Some souls are demented. But hey, but we're in the age of revelation. Because there's a lot of things that you already know already. You know what I'm saying? There's just a lot of things. All you got to do is look up the word death. You say you want to know the original meaning of it. Things die. Some things regrow after death. Wow, I just saw something come through the news wire. And I remember I was in Virginia at the time. So the shooter who killed 3 Virginia football players in 2022 gets 5 life sentences. So he's never getting out of jail. I remember that. He killed 3 Virginia football players. He used to be a football player there. And I think somebody said they were like teasing him and stuff, and he just went ballistic. So he got sentenced to 5 life sentences. It's crazy. You said Chinatown, Little Italy, Hell's Kitchen. New York was off. Yeah, New York was low key off the chain. Shootings, everything. But it was a lot of it was targeted. A lot of it was targeted back then. But riding that subway was real. But it was still, interesting city. But I remember when they cleaned it up. If you remember, they used to have a blade right on 42nd Street. Used to be a blade. And the women used to take you over there by the buses. Where the buses are, where the bus are parked for the night. And that's where they used to take you over there. It used to be crazy, bro. Now back in the day. You said, what do you think is out there off planet? Life? You said Giuliani cleaned it up. He got credit for cleaning up. It started with Dinkins. It started with David Dinkins. I remember the Bernard Getz subway shooting. I remember that. Bernard Getz. I remember well, they're still around. Remember the Wilding incident? I remember that. They were wilding that night. They were. But they did not do that to the Central Park jogger, though. They didn't. I remember Colin Ferguson, subway shooter, train shooter. Yeah, Dinkins started to clean up, but then it ended with Giuliani. Shoot, I go back to Mayor Ed Koch. Mayor Ed Koch, man. David Dinkins and Giuliani. And Giuliani get a lot of props for how he handled himself during 9/11. Yeah, Dinkins definitely started the cleanup. But you remember before the cleanup how it was, though. And you also remember how Harlem was. Harlem was straight up a slum, yo. In certain areas, it was straight slums. Straight. It was dangerous at night and straight slums, man. It was crazy. But when I go through there now, I'm like, wow, man, it's nice out here. Said, we elders are so proud of you and others who are coming into divine enlightenment. Ashe. Ashe to you, Divine 4611. Ashe. I've already been like that, but I'm just now not afraid to talk about it. I've always been that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always knew something was different even when I was younger. But, obviously I had to get older and to gain a little bit more experience, which I'm still gaining experience. You gain experience every day that you're alive. Yeah, the brownstones are now $1 million in Harlem. But remember, some of them brownstones were dilapidated. You remember that? Shout out to Bobby Hemmett. Radio Voice, thank you. Shout out to Bobby Hemmett and a few others. Dick Gregory. Hey, Fiona. Fiona is in China right now, Antoine. Fiona, can you share your link so people can see you? She's a very interesting person. She travels the world, yo. Straight up. You said Ice-T's son look alike. Man, that's crazy. You said Ice-T's son look alike. You said I look like Ice-T, and that's crazy. Yo, they be killing me. Yeah, I just saw that Marjorie Taylor Greene announced she is resigning from office. I saw that, Steve. Ms. VS up in here enlighten us on it. You said 1980s through HUD, brownstones were one. Bro, man. I'm just thinking about that. Mm. You found what? You found what? Oh, man. Oh, it's crazy, bro. Responded to the Vietnam War vets. When they came back to New York, a lot of these guys never received a GI Bill, and nobody guaranteed it, and nobody guaranteed assistance, which the city did better. You know why, right? A lot of the some of these GIs came back addicted to certain things, and the ones that came back that were addicted, they lost their benefits. Yeah, they lost their benefits, man. It's craziness. Um, for some of my like mods, if you see people like trolling, just block them. Yeah, just block them. Like it's getting a little out of hand. It really is. Just block them. That's all, or time them out, or something like that. But yeah, so let's see what else they're talking about here. Let's see.
I got a question for you, and then also one for Mayor-elect. For you, you referred to Mr. Mamdani as a communist. Could you describe why you feel that way? And also, will you do anything to stop him from arresting Prime Minister Netanyahu if he visits New York?
Well, we didn't discuss your second part of the question, and on your first part, I mean, he's got views that are a little out there, but who knows? I mean, we're going to see what works, or he's going to change also. We all change. I changed a lot. From when I first came to office. It's now quite a while ago. It's quite a while. My first term was great. We had the greatest economy in the history of our country. We're doing even better now. We're doing much better now than we did even the first term. And I can tell you some of my views have changed. And we had discussions on some things. I'm not going to discuss what they were, but that I feel very confident that he can do a very good job. I think he's going to be. I think he is going to surprise some conservative people actually, and some very liberal people. He won't surprise them because they already like him.
And for Mr. Mamdani, it sounds like you had a productive discussion, but just days ago you referred to President Trump as a despot who betrayed the country. You said you'd be his worst nightmare and accused him of having a fascist agenda. Are you planning to retract any of these remarks in order to improve your relationship?
I think both President Trump and I, we are very clear about our positions and our views. And what I really appreciate about the president is that the meeting that we had focused not on places of disagreement, which there are many, and also focused on the shared purpose that we have in serving New Yorkers. And frankly, that is something that could transform the lives of 8.5 million people who are currently struggling under a cost of living crisis, with 1 in 4 living in poverty. And the meeting came back again and again to what it could look like to lift those New Yorkers out of struggle and start to deliver them a city that they could do more than just struggle to afford it, but actually start to live in it.
And I've been called much worse than a despot, so it's not that insulting. Maybe I think he'll change his mind after we get to working together. Yes, please.
Mr. President, Anthony Mershad from MTV Lebanon. I would like to ask you a question about the Middle East regarding you did said that Hezbollah in Lebanon is not in a good position. And Lebanon now is the final unresolved after Gaza and Syria. Given your assessment, like what do you say for the Lebanese today? It's the independent state in Lebanon. And what is your next move to push toward disarmament? The disarmament of Hezbollah.
Well, we are pushing for total disarmament of Hamas and frankly everybody else. And we actually have peace in the Middle East. As you know, the King of Saudi Arabia just left yesterday. We had some great meetings, and he's made a contribution toward the United States of more than $1 trillion. We have now over $20 trillion coming in. No country has ever had anything like that, not even close. If you go to 2 trillion or 1 trillion, it's a lot. We have 20 or 21 trillion dollars. I think that Hezbollah has been a problem in Lebanon, big problem. We're working with Lebanon. We're working with everybody in the Middle East. That's another thing I think we have in common. We want to see peace in the Middle East. And we actually have now, for the first time, peace in the Middle East after 3,000 years. And now we're going to refine it. And I think you're going to see some very positive things happen.
There is a potential to invite the Lebanese president to meet you to the White House.
Called ICE, a rogue government entity. I wonder how you reconcile your differences on both of those issues.
Well, I think we're going to work them out. And I think that if we have known murderers and known drug dealers and some very bad people, you know, we want to get them out. And the mayor wants to have peace. We discussed this at great length, actually, maybe more than anything else. He wants to have a safe New York. Ultimately, a safe New York is going to be a great New York. If it's not safe, no matter how well we do with pricing and with anything else, we can talk about anything you want. If you don't have safe streets, it's not going to be a success. So we're going to work together. We're going to make sure that if there are horrible people there, we want to get them out. I think he wants to get them out maybe more than I do. So we'll work together. We discussed it at great length. Yes, please.
He's talking about ICE and going after certain people. I mean, I'm all for it if some of these people are criminals and committing crime. Yeah, just go after them. You know what I'm saying? But I am for these streets getting safer, though. Eventually, it's going to get safer and safer as the time go on with technology. Because there's so many cameras around, it's hard to get away with anything. And it's robots are coming out. It's just going to be crazy. The problem is, though, is the AI taking over all the industries. And, you know, it's a lot of things going to get replaced, including nurses and doctors. A lot of things going to eventually get replaced, but we're just going to have to find a way to, what do you call it? Regroup and, you know, try to figure out another way. It's pretty much that's pretty much what's going to happen. Figure out another way, man. Fiona, you seeing 1010 where you are? You're starting to see a lot of those numbers. Let's see. You said he's business first, respectfully. All the addresses President talk, etc. comes too well rehearsed. The question reporters sound like actors. The real press would. Yeah, he is about business, but I'm all for the safety of these streets. I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna do all that. We'll see. I know why they're thinking about it, because they're thinking about the money. That's what they're thinking about. They're thinking about the money first. That's what they're thinking about. They're thinking about the money. You said, but yeah, man. So they met up and different things like that. Let me see what's here. Marjorie Taylor Greene announces surprise resignation from Congress, saying she refused to be a battered wife to Trump. All right, well, Congressman Marjorie Taylor Greene, guys, she announced she will resign from her post as representative for Georgia's 14th congressional district in 2026. Greene made the surprise announcement in a lengthy video statement posted to her X account on Friday, November 21st, adding that her resignation will be effective January 5th, 2026. In a video, Greene slammed the political gridlock and partisanship that she says has impeded her ability to achieve her legislative goals. Greene went on to describe the way that she has been treated by members of her own party as unfair and wrong. Okay. And said that she did not want to be expected to defend Trump, who she says tried to destroy her. She said, tried to destroy me. She said, I have too much self-respect and dignity. I love my family way too much and do not want my sweet district to have to endure a hurtful and hateful primary against me by the president we all fought for, only to fight and win my election while Republicans will likely lose the midterm, she said, and in turn be expected to defend the president against impeachment after he hatefully dumped tens of millions of dollars against me and tried to destroy me. It's all so absurd and completely unserious. I refuse to be a battered wife, hoping it all goes away and gets better. Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's what she said. I don't care. I'm just being honest with you. I don't care. So what? I think they all need to resign. How about that? Look, this is what I want to say. Look, check this out. Why don't they just all resign and replace them with who we want in there? Like myself. Like I could go and run. Okay. We need some better people up in there. All right. So yes, I will step up to the plate. But we need some more like-minded individuals. That's not going to be pawns to the money. You see what I'm saying? Not going to be pawns to the money. And not going to be bought by these lobbyists. I want the people first. You know what I'm saying? That's it. So who cares? She resigned. I'm being real with you. I don't care. I don't. Yeah, we don't have a program that tracks their actions and promises that they make. So yeah, good. All right, retire. I mean, goodbye. Don't let the door hit you in the butt. You believe she wants to run in 2028? That's a possibility, right? And now she's trying to jockey in position. Like, look, I was against Trump. Okay, I'm a Republican, but I fought back against him. Remember what I said? I don't want to be a battered wife to him. Yeah, she could be jockeying in position. You said, please, there is no peace in Nigeria. Please press for us so that we can be heavy to be like you guys in. So talk to us about Nigeria, Emmanuel. What's going on? Rachel, what's going on? So talk to us about Nigeria, Emmanuel, really quick. Give us something. So much going on all over the world, you know. So much going on. Rachel out and about. He said he wanted to be reported on. We might have to come back to that. But I want him to see what's going on with Nigeria. Is her seat going to stay vacant? Somebody will fill it. I'm not sure if he'll fill her seat, but somebody's going to fill it. But she might have plans to run in 2028. You said Tanzania recently. Hold on, let me see. You said Tanzania recently had civil unrest due to the president and her sneaky ways. Oh wow, I heard about that. It's a lot going on everywhere. You said the people plan to have a political rally on December 9th. I'm gonna have to keep that in mind. Remind me of that. I'm gonna have to write that down. And then there's things going on in Sudan still. That's been going on in South Sudan. There's resources over there. You know that, right? That's been going on. Nigeria got some things going on. It's so much going on. I might reach out to some of the vloggers over there and see if we could like collab or something like that. And we could do some things that way. You said Africa is really changing. The Kenyans are turning things around with their protests. Right, Kenya as well. There's a lot going on. It's a mess in Cuba that's going on. I think they said within the next 20 years, Cuba will be dead. There will be nobody there because a lot of the young working population are leaving, for better opportunity because, a doctor can't even afford a cheeseburger over there. So a lot of them are leaving, which is understandable. They're going all over the place. You said everyone is investing in Africa now, big time. A lot of resources over there, man. Still, there's always nations jockeying for position for those resources. You know how it is. That's why we annexed Hawaii back in the day, even though they had a queen. Her name was Lulu Kalani. They had a whole queen over there, right? And we still annexed them, regardless if they had a queen or not. And it's for the resources. You said Cuba will be part of the union within 10 years. You think they will be annexed in to the United States? 2028 when the next regime drops, but only after the current process matures. You're right in sacking government altogether. I just want people in there. I'm looking through rose-colored glasses. Like that's never going to happen, right? At least I don't think so. But that's what needs to happen. But it ain't going to happen. Mm-mm. You said, how is Africa rising, but Black Americans still stagnant? Yeah, it's not really. Where are you from? When you say we're stagnant, how? How are we stagnant? Like, what do you mean? A lot of the quote unquote Black Americans that are doing very well, they don't report them in the news. They only report the bad things about us. They don't report the good things. The only thing you see is sport people and rappers, but you don't see everybody else that's actually aware politically. You don't, a lot of them don't even be on the internet. They're around. But there's a whole system in place to try to keep us in place, if you know what I mean. And the only way to, I'm not going to get into how you combat that. I'm not going to get into that, but I don't want to get reported. But throughout history, we tried some things and people got assassinated, and there's a lot of bloodshed that happened. See, what a lot of people don't realize is when you talk about Black Wall Street, right? Every city had a Black Wall Street back in the day. Just for example, I'm just giving you one. Montclair, New Jersey. They had their own Black Wall Street. They had their own doctors. They had their own grocery stores. They had everything. This was before segregation ended. We were doing very well. We actually were instrumental in saving Cadillac, the company. We saved it because we couldn't put our money in their banks. So we kept our money under the rugs and stuff. And we were buying Cadillacs and saved them. It's in their history book. It's in Cadillac's history book. We saved them. So what happened was it was all over the world. Even to this day, we still have us quote unquote Blacks are doing well, but they don't report on it. You do have Blacks in the 1% as well. When you think of 1%, the power structure in this company, in this country, they're comprised, in this world actually, they're comprised of all hues of people. So you think of the 1% as those people from that movie Trading Places. They comprise of a lot of people. They just don't report on them. And they're not going to report on it. The only thing you hear about is rappers. When you think of us or you think of success, you're thinking rappers. You're not thinking about A.G. Gaston. You probably never even heard of A.G. Gaston. You probably never even heard of Reginald Lewis, the first Black billionaire in this country, Reginald Lewis. Rest in peace to him. When you think of us accomplishing something, you're thinking of sports athletes and rappers. No, there's a lot of billionaires that's unofficial billionaires that's not being reported, that you don't see in the Forbes magazines. They're in this country and they happen to look like me. And they don't vote. Millionaires don't vote. They don't. When you think of, like I said, the 1%, you're thinking of a certain group of people. No, they comprise of a lot. But things change in this country after segregation. And the reason it's being is because they wanted our money. But you have did you know you hit the most millionaires was created between 1998 till now? This country has created the most millionaires in the history of this country. A lot of them are young. And they're unassuming because a lot of these young kids, they don't dress like they got money and influence, but they do. And guess where they made their money at? Online. YouTube is bigger than you think it is. YouTube is huge. Is any interest that you can think about is on YouTube. They have their own sector for it. Any interest. If you're into bird watching, They got people in here making money off bird watching. Some of you may not know who I Show Speed is, but he's getting a lot of money. He's probably getting over $800,000 a month. But when you see him, you don't think so. He is. So they're out there, and they come in all shapes and sizes and colors. But a lot of millionaires has been made, and they're going to be a lot more millionaires about to be made. So that's pretty much what it is, man. Yeah, the huge post of that guy, I Show Speed. Yeah, he's known worldwide. He's known the world over now. And he's young. He was just in Manhattan looking at properties. And this guy, I think he thought I Show Speed was a joke. I Show Speed was looking at $1 million properties. And the guy was like, well, you have to put $9 million down on it. He's okay. He has $9 million. The guy just don't know that, I guess. And I think afterwards, he was like, oh my God, I lost the sale of this shit. And I Show Speed said he's just about to lose a commission. He don't even know it. He got the 9 million. For sure he does. He just don't look like it. Yeah, you'll be surprised. Billionaires know how to blend in. They do. Matter of fact, this happened, guys. I witnessed this happen. This was in Richmond. I'm not gonna say which car dealership, but it was at one of those fancy car dealerships. There was a guy came in. He came in there through an Uber, and he came in there through an Uber, and he was looking at cars and stuff. He wasn't dressed like nothing. He was just like, it looked like he had just woke up and whatnot. And I knew him from a long, long time ago. His family owns farms. So, the farmers are rich, like rich. He's like farm rich. And he's a brother. And he was like looking at the cars. He said, what do you think? Which one you think I should get? I said, bro, you can get 2 of these joints. We and him are sitting there laughing at each other, right? I said, man, you can get 2 of them joints. Did you know they told him to leave? He said, listen, we don't like loitering around here. They told him to leave. He said, all right, no problem. He said, can I just wait for my Uber out here? He said, yeah, you can. And they made him leave. And I started laughing at him. And it was like, what's so funny? I told him, all right, I'll catch you later. I started like laughing hysterically at him and how I said, you just lost the commission. He was like, no. He said, that guy, he looks like trouble. I said, you just lost. I said, that guy was prepared to throw. I said, that guy, he was shopping for a car for his daughter, himself, and his wife. He was getting ready to pay cash for 3 cars. And you just missed out on the sale. I said, you are an idiot. And did you know the manager came out? He was like, excuse me? I said, that's a farmer. He was like, well, what's his name? And I told him, he said, that's the dude's son. I said, yeah, he's the son. His father, his grandfather had owned all this land and they farmers. And he's like the grandson, but he's older than me though. And the guy said, I heard of that family. I said, I know that's him. He was getting ready to buy 3 cars right now. He would just have to go get the bank draft. I mean, just call his bank and do the wire. He would have wire draw the money. I said, they thought he was homeless. And I think 2 of them got fired that day. They just fired him. Straight up that day. Because when I was leaving, one dude just slammed his car and left. That means he got fired. Because they lost because the dude, he actually didn't go away. He just walked up the street to the Porsche dealership. And he was shaking hands with them in there. Because I think somebody in there knew who he was. I guess he just bought the cars from there. So it was just that they lost the commission that day. You never know who's walking behind you. You just never know. That's how New York is. They blend in New York very good. They take the train and everything. You said, do billionaires take their money to the kingdom of God? Yeah. It's because the kingdom is within you. You know how they say God is omnipresent? He's omniscient. He's omnipresent. How is that the case? So if he's omnipresent, that means he's within you, correct? Because he's everywhere. So there you go. So the answer is yes. Now, do you mean you take the money after death? No. No. But that wasn't my point of the story. My point was people just judge people based on the exterior. You can't really do that. Because he obviously was in there for a reason. You said only one book you can judge by the cover is the Bible. We got to agree to disagree. On that one. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would have to. I don't know about that. The Bible left out some stories and everything else. It left out a lot. You just researched the Council of Nicaea and what the Council of Nicaea did. They didn't want the power in the masses. They didn't want that. All right, what time is it? How long I've been on? Okay, just about all right, I think it's time for me to roll. I ain't gonna keep this too long. Too many contradictions for me. Too much stuff removed. Right. It's at the Council of Nicaea. You said the Ethiopian Bible is a must. I never read that one. Might have to check it out. Never read it. You said you ran into a millionaire in Montclair over the summer. Chatted with him at the pizzeria. Oh, he paid for your joint. He said pulled out in a Lamborghini. You know what I had one time? I had somebody buy. I was in McDonald's drive through, and then I said I pulled out my cart. He said no, the people in front of you paid for you. And then I beat my horn. They beat their horn. Ain't that something? He said no, the person in front paid for your order. I was like, wow, that's cool. I beeped at them. I said I did like that, and they did the same. They just shook their head. That's kind of cool, isn't it, to do that? You will make somebody day doing that. Be nice for no reason. That was pretty cool. All right, guys, I'm gonna get off. I will definitely catch you guys on the next one. Yeah, that wasn't that nice. That really just made my life right there because I never forget it. And then I had to do the same thing. I said I gotta do that, and I did it. I was in a Burger King line. I said, what do the person in back of me? I said, how much is it? And they told me. I said, I'm gonna pay for that. And I left and I was driving out. The person started blowing beep, 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 and did like that. And I beat back. It's a really nice feeling when you do something like that. Yep, paying it forward is a really nice feeling when you do something like that. Because they don't be expecting somebody to be that nice. They don't expect it. That could literally lift somebody's soul. They may not even listen. They might have money, right? That's not the point. But the point is somebody wanting to do something nice for them. You know what I'm saying? That could lift somebody's soul. There's a lot of people out here alone. And yeah, a lot of people out here alone. And like I said, that football player, they can have all the money in the world, but if they got some war going on up here, like the football player took his life. I believe his mother passing had something to do with it. You know, so you say good, you asked the total first. I know. I had to ask the total. I ain't independently wealthy now. I paid for it. But it does restore faith in humanity sometimes. But I left out and the person just started frantically blowing and did like this to me. And I did like that. And I did the same thing to the person in front of me. It's like a chain reaction. You said you're born alone and you would die alone. Yeah. But I'm talking about the world could be a lonely place. It's sometimes it feel like people are cold out here. And yeah. And like I said, I be driving at night. I witness a lot of crazy things at night. The world is so chaotic around you sometimes. It's just you don't know it. Like right now, there was a shooting. Right now, somewhere. There was a shooting. Somebody fighting for their life right now. Or somebody's threatening to get kidnapped right now. Or somebody about to get killed tonight by somebody they got beef with. I remember a police officer told it to me like that. He said, imagine going to work and that's your office every day. Like, wow, they become cold. But yeah. But you still have to just be in your own space and protect your own inner peace. You know what I mean? That's it. That's all you can do. But guys, thank you. I'll be back. I might go on my sports channel, but I'll send y'all the link. I might go over there tonight because they got a game tomorrow. Um, yeah. I mean, she used to tell us ain't nothing good happening after 10 o'clock. She's saying nothing open but legs in trouble. That's what she used to tell us. Ain't nothing open but legs in trouble. Nothing. She said, where are you going? It's 11 o'clock. I said, oh, I'm going out to the, party. She said, ain't nothing but trouble out there tonight. There ain't nothing open but legs in trouble, son. So you better be careful. And I was like, okay. She said, you better be careful. You hear me? She said, the Geechee is out there. I said, the what? The Geechee. They out there. And the devil is out there. She said, the devil works at night. He works his magic at night. And the devil is in the streets. And she said, come over here, boy, and let me pray for you. And she'd just do like this, put a cross on my head and do like that. Boy, let me pray for you. I always appreciate that. We're going to meet again in my travels. You traveling through lifetimes. You say you reporting East Coast. That's how it is everywhere. It's some trouble everywhere. Right now, somebody is possibly losing their life prematurely over some violence right now. Somebody right now is contemplating a homicide right now. Driving to it right now. It's crazy out here. But you got to protect your inner peace, though. For sure. What's up, Steelers girl? But you can't think about that all the time. You just got to just mind your, make sure you're safe. But you can't always think about that. It'll drive you crazy. But the world can be chaotic and beautiful at the same time. The world is so big, it's vast, this planet. But anyway, I will catch you guys on the next one. Yes, indeed. Thank you for joining. All right, guys. I will catch you on the next one.